Okay, so let me introduce our guest for today. I'll start from the left side, let's say. So I'll start with Marcus Willand. He's the associated partner at MHP. You saw already Marcus. And then Oliver Oswald, he's the CEO of MHP Romania. And Oprean, probably you know him, CEO of AROBS. So welcome, thanks for joining us. And the first question is, just let know each other better. So if you can, if you were to say, what kind of product and services are you developing in Cluj? Okay, Voicu, if you want to start with this.
Okay, hi everyone, great to see you. Guys, these are my Dutch guys, that you will see on the pages of magazine. They're supposed to speak here, so they work actually in the embedded, so we cooperate with them. They're doing some practical in our company, practice internship, that's the name. Thank you guys, being here.
Next time we'll get them on the stage to
hopefully
present.
Yes, okay. What we are doing in Cluj, we are doing software development services, software outsourcing, like we said, software for custom software development. In the automotive area, we have about 300 people working in the automotive area, doing testing, doing software development, embedded software development, and using mostly C and C++. Also, we are doing software solution. So we have the #1 vehicle tracking solution in Romania, using different hardware devices connected with the computer, with board computer, plus also with different sensors. So we have an IoT platform for tracking vehicles over the internet, over the mobile phone, and yeah, that's about it in that area.
Sounds good. Oliver, if you want to continue.
Yeah, we just figured out we're not competitors. So we're not in the embedded software development. We're doing more or less the whole life cycle, starting with defining processes at our customers, making processes lean, more efficient, going into implementation, obviously. So basically on the platforms Java and SAP. So I learned a lot about SAP today. I guess our architects are more happy than the colleague from the CPU. And we do have also application management. That's a pretty small part. So we have our customers running their applications. So you see it's more or less the whole life cycle from the beginning of an idea, of a project, until the delivery at the end.
Yes?
What I can add, so as I said also during my presentation, I'm not the software guy and the programmer. I'm doing management consulting basically in the area of mobility, and what we try to do as a big employer here in the town is to connect to the mayor and to see how we can contribute with what we learn across the world in terms of mobility and make pilots here in Cluj as well. Secondly, what we are doing is we are part of certain European Union projects which embrace several countries throughout the EU for different topics, also for urban mobility. And currently we're in discussions how to get Cluj in there to also participate in those European projects on urban mobility to be part of the solution in the future.
And I guess what we just learned, we should connect to Endava, because we are also wanted to make cities smart, not just Cluj. Cluj does need it, obviously, because as you see, the traffic jam in the morning, it's a pain. So that's why Marcus and Mr. Bock should connect to discuss what we can do for Cluj. And again, we should connect to Endava.
I can help if you need any connection. Okay, so the next question. Compared with the last, considering last 5 years, how do you see requirements for the software specialist evolution? Do you think we need different skills for today developers than was in the last 5 years or 10? And if you can comment on this. We have only 2 mics, sorry.
So how we see this? Well, we see actually the pretty big development. We need a lot of resources, as you see. Also, we work very close with universities in order to have better people, better trained, and also better entrepreneurs. As you might know, we are involved in a project with the Babeș-Bolyai University for developing soft skills and hard skills for engineers. Mostly, well, they're not engineers; they have different diploma, anyway. But in order to learn exactly what it's a project about, so actually we split in groups and subgroups at their university, and we train them specifically in external trainers in order to be better prepared. So that's our plan, how to develop the human resources in the local market, but also it's, as you see, we have many more resources coming, or many more people coming from outside Cluj. They are relocated to Cluj.
And when you hire someone, did the requirements change since last 5 years, or are pretty much all the same?
Basic requirements are the same, actually. So I wouldn't say that are like in the 2000 in the US, when you need to have 2 legs, 2 hands, and 1 head, in order to be programmer. So we need actually more basics, So we need to have more ground, but we need also to train them better, because also the level increase a lot.
I see.
So I think there have been some changes the last couple of years. I was first in Cluj 2010, so 8 years ago. And when we had a look what the tasks have been, which have been done in Cluj, it was more programming, maybe some implementation work, testing. So it was more the easy work which has been done here. This changed a lot. Today we are doing whole projects here. We have the responsibility in Cluj. We have service managers here, project managers. People can be part of an international team. If they would like to travel, they can explore the world out of Cluj. If they don't want to travel, they can stay here and do remote work. So yes, I think the work changed itself. So for the people, I think it's important to have more self-esteem. This needs to change. So you're not just a nearshore center, you are just one part of the whole value chain, and it doesn't matter if you come from China, Americas, Germany, or Romania. We need the guys in our projects, and I think this changed, yeah.
Thanks, sounds good. Okay, Marcus, you want to comment? Or no? No?
I would like to add, if we are talking about change, actually our engineers are working all around the world. So we have few guys just returned from Singapore, where they took over a project, or Mexico City. So all the global world become open global village.
Sounds great. Nice. And coming locally, and you previously somehow answer a little bit of this question. How do you collaborate with the local university? What kind of projects do you work with, except what you just mentioned?
I graduated Technical University in Cluj, computer science, 94, pretty a while ago. So actually, as part of me giving back something, I'm involved with the Technical University as assistant professor for teaching entrepreneurship for the last year in the Technical University. We started last year. The program will continue next year. And as I mentioned already, we had a program with Babeș-Bolyai for entrepreneurship, soft skills, presentation skills, usually the skills that are required in any companies you are working. And actually the skills that will make definitely a difference. Also, we discovered that team or team concept, it's not as big in the local universities, so we enhance a lot the concept of teaming, and we do projects together with mentoring. We provide mentoring, we provide support, and also we try to put the students in the position to actually launch a product. So that's a full semester in the third year at the Babes-Bolyai University. So, and that's mandatory on the other side.
Ah, okay. And that sounds good, but on the other hand, I mean, you give a lot to the university. Do you try to do to also take like some research project, or try to get part of their, I don't know, PhD work or something like this?
We do. Actually, we sponsor different, I would say, pre-doc,
okay.
PhD or pre-PhD for studying. Together with the university, we applied to some European projects, also with the technical university for communication between vehicles and for some other platforms that where the university has interest.
Thank you.
So you're graduated at 94. You're looking young. So talking about universities, university I guess is a pretty important thing, not just here in Romania for us. So we're giving lectures in different countries. What we figured out when we started in 2014 with our own company, that university relationship is key. So we decided together with Porsche and at this time EBS to found our own course of studies. This is now running in the 4th academic year, so we have our first fruits harvested. Most of them are working with us, also during the studies. And I'm really happy that we can announce that we start with the next winter semester also a master course, which is important for our colleagues, because as you may know, most of them have just a basic bachelor degree, which is basic, and now they can start a master degree. So yes, working with universities is absolutely key.
Okay. Marcus, do you want to comment, or it's
We said
already
everything
covered?
according to MHP, everything has been said.
Oh, okay, great. And also you cover a little bit part of the autonomous driving, and one of my questions prepared before was, when do we think we'll have autonomous level 5? You already, I think you respond to this question in your presentation. But how can companies adapt to this new way of working? Do you think everyone will start will try to be part of this algorithm of processing, or some companies will just take ownership, and like Google, Waymo, or how do you see this?
For sure, autonomous driving will be the game changer for mobility, and it will allow companies like Google, Apple, and the likes from China as well, Alibaba, Tencent, to enter the mobility market and to take large portions of it. But there also lies a big chance in that development, because what we expect is that there will be offered more convenient modes of mobility in the future, which will increase the demand for mobility as well. So the number of person kilometers in the future is likely to increase due to different offerings, which will be added. So there will be more mobility, so much more money can be earned. And what we also see is, I showed the autonomous shuttles before that, they are a big playground. You can project any business case on those autonomous shuttles to happen in there. And these business cases, as I said, are mainly driven by digital platforms. And that's where the entry point is for new business models. So we just need to have a little bit of fantasy to imagine new business models. And then just by doing the programming, we can start being part of that future business. We do not necessarily to be able to build new cars to take a portion of the mobility market in the future. And there lies a big chance also for Cluj in there, I think, to be part of that. And as we already discussed before our panel here, the opportunity is clearly seen.
Okay, so do you see these kind of mobility solutions to be driving solution on mobile and so on to be delivered and to be created based on autonomous driving?
I mean, there are two types of digital, or main types of digital solutions which are needed for that. The one is, which is needed for autonomous driving. That's an enabler technology, which you need to do the autonomous driving. But that's only a technical procedure in the end. The other thing is to do the digital platform in the background, to do the business on those platforms driving around. And if you look at what has been presented in Las Vegas at the beginning of this year at the CES, at the Consumer Electronics Show, all my colleagues came back and said, oh, did you see this Biden car? This is the Chinese e-mobility car manufacturer, the new one. And they had large TFT displays in the car, but still a steering wheel and pedals and the rest like usual. And my colleagues went crazy about this TFT displays, and they said, oh, that's the future. We need to think about those TFT displays. And I said, did you carefully watch? Did you really see what has happened there? Did you see what Toyota presented? And I said, no, we didn't see that. And Toyota presented something which is called e-pallet, electronic pallet. And the thing is, that's also an autonomous shuttle which has a base unit where the drivetrain, the electric drivetrain is in, and the autonomous driving technology. And on top of that, you can build any pod used for different business needs. And building that car, as I said, is only the hardware for mobility. But what Toyota did went one step further. They also announced partnerships. Along with the design of this car, they are partnering with Uber for person mobility. They are partnering with Amazon for goods mobility to deliver parcels. And they partnered, which was quite funny, with Domino's Pizza. And the idea behind that is that you place a pod on this base unit where a pizza oven is in. And then your pizza is bacon ready when it arrives at your door. And you don't have this 10-15 minute delay when it gets out of the oven and when the guy is driving it to your home and then it gets cold and not so tasty. So they also did this cooperation with Domino's, and that was a clear glimpse into the future, what will happen. And I think the Toyota presentation was by far the most visionary at the CES in Las Vegas, and not the TFT displays. TFT, what is happening there, will earn us our money in the next 1 to 5 years. So we have to do this business because it feeds us. But if you want to have a glimpse into the future, you need to look at those concepts behind there. And Toyota clearly recognized that platforms like Amazon, like Uber, are so economically powerful, you cannot fight them. Yeah, you need to collaborate, and that's what they learned, and that's what they made, and that's why this is really, really interesting, and that's a glimpse into the future.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very convincing.
Can you getting?
That's my job.
Can you imagine getting stuck in the traffic jam with 5 pizza ovens around you?
Just take one.
Yeah, get pizza on the go. Right. Voicu, do you want to comment on this?
Yeah, I would like to go a little bit further. So we spoke about traffic and you know how difficult is traffic, but imagine with autonomous driving car there will be less car, because right now we are using probably less than 5% of our vehicle over days. So all the other 95%, so you will not need so many parkings, that's one. All the parkings, what you see in Julius maybe might be you know, exchanged to real estate, that's one. It can be different change, less vehicles on the street. You don't need to own a vehicle, so everything will change. So there will be many other changes into the ecosystem that we'll see around us with autonomous driving.
Yeah, that's one of the questions. In the future, we might not be able anymore to even buy a car, because we just, I mean, for the producer, they will earn more money if they will just put their cars on the street and just let the people rent them, right?
Actually, I'm seeing autonomous driving more as a disruptor for the automotive industry, as electrical car is for the classic vehicle industry, also the charging station and so on. So maybe we'll see many other changes due to autonomous driving. And I'm very happy that in Cluj we will have electrical buses, which is maybe the first city in Romania with electrical buses. So that means no pollution and or less pollution. And also that means that Cluj is a little bit further than other cities.
Yeah, we just need to upload there some code to make them autonomous.
Why not? Together with you know, all the companies in Cluj, with the cluster, with the RES, you know, with all the companies, we can do many good things, and put together all the companies into one big project. Like, why not testing on a rail or you know, only autonomous drive?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's funny because I think last year when MHP came as, you know, supporting the magazine, there were also some other companies doing automotive, but I just realized that in Cluj we have a lot of automotive industry. You know, it's a lot considering that the other are doing just software, and then automotive probably is like 30-40%. It's covered by this.
And as I said, Telenav is running in California the most level 5 autonomous cars on the streets to test, even more than Google. Telenav, a company which is also situated here.
Yeah, I have a discussion with, yeah, I'll try to maybe get an article on this. But we got actually the first article is from Telenav, and it's about the autonomous driving, but it's with GM. I'm not sure how much, they didn't mention anything about their software there. Okay, so do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, we could.
Hey, I'm Vasile. Question not necessarily related to the automotive, but for you, Mr. Willand and Oswald, what are you missing coming to Cluj? Is there anything that you missed that you expect to see here and you did not find it yet? And Mr. Oprean, what can we do as a host or native to this city to fulfill their needs?
This is a very good question. I guess what we are missing is people. As I said, we found very young, motivated, talented, well-educated people here, but just not enough. So that's why we went to the university. We founded our own course of studies to help develop the right skills at the university, whatever the right skills are. So we feel home here. We are not missing anything. Internet is way better than in Germany. Traffic is bad, but it's bad in Germany too. So no, we are not missing anything. We are feeling home.
Sounds good.
Well, if they are not missing anything, you know, what can I answer? So, well. Keep coming. Well, the resources, of course, then it's an issue, but also I guess it's what we discover, and what I mentioned with the university project, that we discovered that us, because I include me into that segment, we were trained not to work in teams. So that's one of the biggest issue I'm seeing, you know, in the ecosystem, IT system. So we need to force ourselves to work in teams. It's a skill that you need to develop during school, gymnasium, school, university. And unfortunately, the education system is not as good in that sense. And we need to recover, you know. Every time you see only the top guys, but what about the others, you know? They can be motivated to work harder and to develop and reach their objectives, actually. So we try to encourage working in team, because in teams, usually everything is a team effort. So that's something that where we need to be aware, we need to work on, and I don't know, I see, because I was exposed to other culture, like Dutch, you know, we just completed an acquisition in the Netherlands. So actually we'll be soon in the press, you know, with more details, but we saw a completely different culture there, you know. The people are more connected, they're working in teams, and they are much stronger, you know, as team, compared with what we see here.
And I think what you or the government needs to do, promoting Romania in the European community, to be honest. We talk to our customers, they're asking, Romania? Why Romania? What is good about Romania? Where is Romania? And we have a lot of visitors from our customers here who going back very impressed about the culture, very impressed about the city, very impressed about the ability. So again, you need to be self-confident. So what you have here is a great thing and a great thing to start. And you just need to continue.
Thanks. And now I have a question for Voicu. We published, I think, last year an article from AROBS, and there was presenting a wood car. What's the idea with it, and what's happening with it? Julia, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, we had Julia on exhibition, Embedded World in Nuremberg, actually. So we were there, and we attract many visitors there because of being a wood car. So actually, was the frame, everything was built by wood. Of course, the chassis was metal because you need to follow certain regulation, and it had some Ford type of engine. So it was actually manufactured, in Romania, and we use it for exhibition purposes. And after that experience, we saw, well, why not, guys? Well, let's build, a real car, electrical car. So we are actually working on that. Okay. So we have something very interesting for our people, to play. So we apply all the embedded technology into a real car. That's what we are doing.
So should we expect to see one electrical car coming from AROBS soon?
Yes, pretty soon. I wouldn't say, I cannot make predictions, because I'm more skeptical than Elon Musk, So, but still, there will be one.
Okay.
I'm not sure that this year, maybe not, but next year for sure.
Sounds really great to have a local electrical car made by you. Okay. Any other question from the audience? Or I'll... Yes. Let me Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Do you intend to invest also on high school education, not only on university or college level education? Because this is a sensible thing to have better prepared people for automotive and for computer science.
I can tell you what we are doing. We are part of a project, it's named For IT. And this project is done in 5 schools in Cluj. They were selected, the schools, together with the Inspectoratul Școlar, whatever, plus in Târgu Mureș and Oradea. So that's a program where we are part. We are sponsoring that project together with the project and product trainers. So they teach them entrepreneurship and also marketing and soft skills. So I would say it's similar, but a little bit addressed to younger generation in that sense. So there are 4 high schools in Cluj, or 5 that you use: Tiberiu Popovici, Racoviță, Avram Iancu, and there is one more, actually, or 2, Bălcescu, and there is the high school in Dej also, that is part of that program. So yes, we are doing this, and there is a young lady very enthusiastic about that. She's running that program for since, I don't know, 2012.
Sounds great.
I think it's a good question you raised. Obviously, we are not doing anything in high schools except of supporting the Caravane. So we're going with some of our guys all over Transilvania into the German-speaking gymnasiums, and tell them about informatics, tell them about their chances, and trying to convince them to visit university, especially maybe our course of studies.
Great. Oliver, one question for you. I mean, you are an MHP coming from Porsche, right? What's your relation with Porsche? I mean,
MHP was founded in 96 and 99. Porsche bought a share of MHP. So nowadays they're owning 82%. So we're not just working for Porsche. I would say we make 30% of our turnover with Porsche, Volkswagen, and all the other brands. The rest are different customers. So yes, we are owned by Porsche by 82%.
And okay, but you are not just making software just for Porsche. You are making for all the.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you are driving Porsche or not?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Any more questions from the audience? Yeah.
Are you guys involved with universities from other countries? I ask this because I think you have to make Cluj more attractive and show other people why it is. And you can just do that to invest more in other universities. I saw this because we went here on an excursion and our university showed how Cluj is. But I think Cluj has to show to the universities how it is and why it is so great.
Absolutely. What we are trying to do, as I said, we are working with some universities in different countries because we know that we need to educate people. And what we've done, we brought some German professors over to Cluj. So I know we should do it the way round, but this is pretty difficult for budgeting. But we are bringing German professors to Cluj. That's the first step.
Yeah, so actually, you know, guys, that you came from different universities here, and Robin, I don't know, why don't you tell us, you know, what's your experience in Cluj, because you are an intern here, and
hello, my name is Robin, and just like Voicu told all of you, I'm doing my internship at AROBS now, and now I'm staying here for about 2 months. And for me, the reason why I came to Cluj is mainly because of the people and the atmosphere and the culture. It's a very nice place to be. The people are very open, and especially when I came to AROBS, there's a very open culture. There's a very nice way how people work together. And that really fits me as a person, and it's nice to see that even though we're in Eastern Europe, which for a lot of Western people, it doesn't immediately like ring a bell like, hey, I want to go there. It's really nice to see that Cluj is doing great.
One question for all three of us. If I'm traveling in other cities in Europe, everyone has, let's say, a place where you can see history of computers, but also see the latest technologies. And usually those places are, visited by a lot of students, and a lot of people who wants to find what's new, how they can interact with different objects in different way, and so on. In Cluj, there is no such place. And I asked at our latest talk, our mayor, Milbok, and he said there's no plan to construct such thing in the next, 5 years for sure. Do you think a private initiative for education might make sense, even if it might be a little bit of investment?
well, of course, why not? It's we just need, especially me as an entrepreneur or an investor in different other businesses, I just need the initiative, I just need the power, you know, the person who's able to run this, and maybe the budget will find.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
you can start small and then go big. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? On the other side, Romania was kind of the IT computer started a while ago with Felix and some other Institutul Tehnică de Calcul. I don't know if such a thing still exists, you know, in the Romania, but that was the basic actually to the computer science industry in Romania.
Yeah, Technical University plans to do something. I'm not sure how big, and I understood they have some old computers there. They might, you know, expose to the audience, to the public. But still, that's an open question. I was a little bit surprised by the answer I got that there's no plan to build something. Especially that, for example, in Germany, as I know, you know, I visit in Dutch Museum, and I understood that basically every child and student somehow in his lifetime goes there at least once, right? And this is helping, you know, people to get better technical skills, let's say, vision. Okay. Only okay. Yeah.
Hello. I would like to know your opinion regarding the CEO, one of the most famous and most known pioneer in the development of electric cars, Elon Musk, regarding the future of artificial intelligence in the future. I say that because for a while I was a professor assistant for artificial intelligence in the University of Oradea, and you know very well Elon Musk is a very renowned and real change owner in this respect, and his opinions are very well founded, and I would like to know how do you see this?
I mean, it's not only Elon Musk who is concerned about what AI can do to us or will not do to us. With every new game-changing technology, you have to be very careful on how to deploy it. That's for sure. And currently, the state AI is in is still a very basic one. If you see what still needs to happen, that an artificial intelligence can compete with what we are doing with our brains, that will last for several decades to happen. But nevertheless, once it happens, they can overtake us, that's for sure, this intelligence. And then you have to see how to cope with it. And I think it's good to have a voice of reason, like Elon Musk, who's very popular, to raise the finger and say, okay, be cautious about what you're doing with this technology. But on the other hand, I don't see the reason to not do it, because it also can bring lots of good things to mankind. And it's like with every technology, it can do good things, bad things, and it's about us to be careful and responsible with this new technology.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. Do you think, I mean, if you start a discussion about Elon Musk, how do you see their, especially that you are in the branch? For me, it looks kind of strange to have so many, requests for their cars, and that they are not able to produce them. What do you think there's the bottleneck? Compared with the rest of the manufacturer who can produce how many cars they want, and they actually produce more than.
I mean, what we have to see is that the serial production of cars began with the T model of Ford, which is now 120 years ago. So the automotive industry had 120 years to refine the production process. And if you nowadays go to one of the factories of an OEM, it's really unbelievable what's happening there. I've been to the Mini factory in Oxford last year, and I have in the hall where the carrosserie, where the bodywork is done, and it's like 2 football grounds big, this hall, and you have 100 robots in there just doing the welding. So they're taking all the steel plates and then they do the welding, and in the end comes out the finished body of the car. And this whole thing is run by only 30 people.
The entire factory?
In this whole body work factory thing. 100 robots, 30 people, fully automated, and those people are only there to control the process. They are not doing anything productive, basically. And it's unbelievable, and it took 120 years to get there by using the most advanced technologies, and then if you see that, it's quite easy to understand why Elon Musk has this big problems. In designing the car, he was a visionary, because he said, I'm going to design a car like a computer. And it has a battery pack in there, and the software design and the hardware design is really revolutionary, and that's the challenge for the OEMs on the other hand, to follow up on that design paradigm he introduced. But then on the other hand, production hell is biting him, and he will still need some time to get up to the production numbers like the OEMs, and they have still time to catch up on him. And so the race is not finished yet.
Yes, yes. Do you want to comment or no? Okay. Well, I'm more or less out of the question, so I clarify a lot of stuff, a lot of things today. Guys, do you have any more questions? Okay.
Yeah, so Marcus, you mentioned at the beginning about those large displays at CES inside cars that are very connected to the internet. And my question is, how do you feel about seeing advertisements in your car while you drive? And do you guys know anything about measures being taken to keep this under control, any regulations or law?
Basically, the answer is pretty simple. It's like Spotify. If you take the basic option of Spotify, you get AdWords every 30 minutes. And if you pay the premium, then you have no AdWords. And same will be with mobility. It will be in different segments. And if you want to pay much, if you don't want to pay a lot of money for mobility, then you need to bear with the AdWords you get all the time. And if you want to do your stuff and have no AdWords, then you need to pay a premium. That's how it will work.
Okay, and yeah, I just got one more idea. So there are crashes with autonomous car, and that will happen for a while probably. And the big question is, who's responsible? Is the developer, or who do you think is responsible at the end for that? I mean, let's say there's nobody in the driving position. Let's have this scenario, and then someone dies because of this. Who will be in charge?
Maybe the tester, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can we go to the developer and testers? Because all these are very traceable, everything in the automotive industry.
Yes, except the light, you know. Actually, one of the Tesla accident happened when the light, you know, the sun came from front and the truck was white, you know. So there are all kind of conditions that need to follow, but I guess the industry will get there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because if you track and trace every moment and every condition, which are, of course, zillions, you know, then and you'll end up with a safer world. And but who's responsible? I don't know. Maybe us.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I wrote today in my editorial that basically for the developers we need to have this kind of you know, as it is in other branches like medicine and so on, to have some standards and have some, at the end, some, let's say, testing or something, some tools to certify your application, because otherwise we can get this kind of situation. And so until now, basically all the software is wrote by whoever wants, can run it or whatever he wants. And I think this will be changed in the future. What do you think? Do you agree with this, or?
Well, we already, with big customers, I tell you about AROBS case, we need to sign special type of, or to have special type of insurance for this kind of developers doing bad things. On the other side, if the customer, as we have in some project, give us more and more responsibility, that comes in stages, you know, actually. So definitely the responsibility is here. Might be in the future, you know, software engineer to become like doctors, to have a malpractice, whatever type of insurance. But I don't know, maybe some countries are more developed in that sense. I don't know. How is Germany?
Oh, no.
Nothing regulated. Okay. Okay. I think we are done.
There's some dinner left.
And some wine, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.